Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and today I wanted to touch upon a new concert that I just recently got back from. Now, if you didn't listen to my last episode, you won't know where I went, but I was just recently in Edmonton, April 22nd to be exact, to see the Metalcore Spring Break Tour with The Devil Wears Prada, Erra, Kingdom of Giants, and Acres. It was at Midway in Edmonton, April 22nd. Holy shit, I actually remembered the other opening band, Kingdom of Giants. Yes, they left an impression on me. I was actually very, very, very surprised from all of it. I was extremely excited leading up to the actual concert itself. The fact that it finally happened is so, so good. And honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better show, let alone a better trip. So, what actually happened was Crystal, Paul, and we got together the day before and ended up watching the Oilers game. Unfortunately, they lost that one. I believe this was game one of the entire series. Very, very upsetting to see that the boys lost. I will touch upon it in but a moment, as it's still going. And as I'm recording this, they play tonight. So fingers crossed they can win. But again, I will get into that in a moment. First and foremost is this damn trip, because holy shit, was it ever a lot of fun. Now, all three of us, we haven't actually been down for a concert before, as Crystal isn't from around here. She's from Chicago. And it was the first time that we got to actually show her what a concert is like for the ones that we normally go to. Last time she was up, around this time last year, we did get a chance to show her at least Better Than Fred's, which is the local venue, local bar, if you will, in Grand Prairie, which is a legendary venue in terms of bar venues, mind you. So I was able to show her that last time, but this time around, I just had to show her, or find a way to show her a show at least a little bit bigger than one that you'd find at Fred's, specifically one we would go to in Edmonton. Give her a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be, I don't know, around here. A little bit of insight into what I always do, as going to these concerts really is a passion of mine. It's a way to feel included and just release everything that you might have going on in your life. You are in a room full of people that love this certain artist, even if it's not the exact same one you're there to see. All the same, they're there for the love of music. And you can let go of all your problems. And again, this show in particular, so cathartic and so worth the wait. Because I feel like I booked this a long ass time ago and actually mentioned it for the first time a long time ago, but it's finally here and past, unfortunately. But I did and am able, I did have a great time, and I am able to relive these memories, and that's why I want to share them here, because it was a fun time. And honestly, with it being my very first ever time to see Acres, a band that personally I found completely on my own. Can't remember why. It might have been from TikTok. I don't exactly remember the initial moment in which I found them. All the same, though, I found their music, and it was their Burning Throne album. And that album, my God, it has gotten me through such a difficult point of time in my life, in where I didn't really have much hope of getting out of the situation that I was in. I felt trapped and just honestly within myself. Like, I had so many self-doubts, the situations that I was in. It was just a really rough period of my life. And it was within the time that I was finding myself and being able to get to the point where I am now today and feeling okay. And Acres, they are a huge part of how I was able to push through that, with specifically that album, but their music in general too. Which leads me to say, the day that we left for the show, which was the day of the show, April 22nd, we got down to Edmonton with, I want to say, a couple hours to spare. Not as early as I would have liked, but I was feeling a little bit lazy, not gonna lie. I was excited for the show, yes, but I drive for a living, so I definitely get a little bit worn out and tired over the whole fact of, yo, let's do some more driving. But it was worth the drive. It was worth the trip, even if I was driving the whole time. I know Crystal could have too. Paul, unfortunately, cannot drive. But it was still fun because I was able to put on Acres, their entire discography, as I like to make playlists for bands in general. The ones that I find to be my favorites, I love to create complete discography deep dives in terms of playlists. So it'll start with their chronological first release all the way down to their newest and most current. And obviously, I have that for Acres, I have that for Black Veil. I do not actually have it for The Devil Wears Prada yet, but pretty much every artist that I myself have done the deep dive of, I have the playlist for. And if anyone's interested in seeing those, check out my link tree at my socials. Like, in the bio of my socials, you'll find a link tree link, and you can find my Spotify profile. It will be linked in there, and it has all my playlists that I have made myself. And honestly, if you're wanting to get into a certain artist like Acres, go give it a shot because you won't be missing out. It's completely worth it. They are one of my favorite bands that are completely underrated, in my opinion. In saying all of that, we finally made our way from the hotel to Midway as we walked, not too far of a distance, and we were able to be there not too far in the line either. I think we got there just an hour before the show, at least the doors for the show opened, and we were, I want to say, the closest I've ever been, and I've been to that venue countless of times at this point, and it was really nice to be able to think that, damn, I'm probably going to get the chance to be front and center for Acres, because they're the first opening band. Obviously, you go into the venue first, you need to check out the merch, at least should, this is the way that I do it anyways. Check out the merch, then go use the bathroom, coat check, all that stuff. Coat check usually is dead second, just so you can put whatever you buy at the merch table at coat check, if the venue has it, which this one definitely does. And then bathroom, get your drinks, get down to the floor, and get ready for a good time. You will be standing for a while, but hey, what the hell else would you do? It's a show, it's a part of the experience, okay? Fucking pull up Twitter if you want to be that guy, or maybe look around and talk to people around you, because odds are they're here for one of these artists, and there's some chance, at least a little one, that you can make a connection with somebody and have that memory for life. So please, if you get the chance and the people around you seem nice enough to talk to, give it a shot. What else do you have to lose other than just, oh shit, okay, that was waste of time, then you can go to your phone, right? That's how my mind works anyways, but we were able to be there front and center, in like literally front and center at the stage and right at the barricade. I couldn't have asked for more, to be honest, because when we first walked into the venue, I bought my Acres merch, which they had the vinyl. They actually had the vinyl that I missed out on because it was something ridiculous, like $70 on their web store. So fuck no, I'm not buying that. Or I don't even believe it was their web store. I believe it was Solid State Records, like the actual record label web store itself. But they had the What It's Like to Feel Worthless, which is their most recent EP, on vinyl at their merch booth. So I was finally able to buy it for myself, which has some of my favorite songs on it. Like, yes, I know I said Burning Throne is my absolute favorite album of theirs, and that still holds, like, no change about that at all. But with What It's Like to Feel Worthless, from Leave You to Rot, A Different Shade of Misery, Lost, Deadweight, not to mention the acoustic version of Lost at the end. Don't even get me started, okay? Because I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit into their set, but during their set, they played some of these songs, and I was so happy to hear them because they have just this heaviness to them that, while still being insanely heavy, especially in certain ones, it still pulls at the heartstrings and leaves you feeling that emotion that they are so good at conveying. Best EP that they've released to this date. It makes me so excited to see what's next with their upcoming album, The Host, which again does come out May 6th, literally 4 days away. No, May 2nd, literally 4 days away. Can't believe it's even sooner than I thought. That is exciting. To get into Acres and their performance, they were the opening band. They were the first one to get on stage, and in getting on stage, they brought their presence immediately. They got their instruments, people were cheering, which I was shocked people actually knew them. It wasn't just me. I don't like saying that about bands, but I know they are very small in terms of scale, at least for now. I know with their music, I'm a huge fan of them, so I do believe that they are going to reach really big heights if they get the chance. And with going on these tours, they are finally able to get the chance to reach audiences that they've never once reached before. As Crystal, the one that came with me, from Chicago, she was able to see them in Chicago a while back. And she actually was lovely enough to get me a video of the singer from Acres saying hello to me. A little personalized message, if you will, to say hello and saying that they're going to try to come down to Edmonton because she told them to. And lo and behold, they finally listened and did it, and that is just, it just makes me smile from ear to ear. And not to mention the vinyl that I got for the What It's Like to Feel Worthless. I also got a t-shirt for the song Lost, which had some lyrics on the back, and I believe the front is like a headbanging, kind of like the neck anyways. It shows like a spine and it's cracking, and it shows the skull as well. It's really cool. Butchering the way that it looks way better than I describe it, believe me. I'll even post a photo of it just to show it because I really like the shirt. It's one of my favorite pieces of merch that I currently own, and I know it's brand new, and that's probably a part of the reason why, but still, I love it. Absolutely adore it. And I have to mention this because when Crystal went to that show prior and bought me a hoodie, which adore that hoodie, alongside a t-shirt, which is a white one for their song Hold On. Which is a great song, which is why I say that. But the shirt itself, walked up to the merch booth, and lo and behold, I believe it was the bassist of the band running the booth at the time when the doors first opened. And he pointed at it, and he's like, hey, the shirt, that's a really old design. We don't have that one anymore. So he recognized it and kind of called me out for it and said what tour it was from when they were on tour with a band called Casey and I believe Holding Absence, the one that she went to see anyways. And that was a little cool moment for me to be like, yeah, I mean, she got it for me and you guys are finally here. And I got to explain a little bit of the story that I already just did to everyone here. I was able to explain it a little bit to him. And yeah, he kind of thought it was cool. I was able to pay for the things. I gave them a tip, obviously, because hell yeah. And told him, see him after the show. Went to see the show after that, after dropping everything off at Cocheck, blah, blah, blah. Got the drinks, got situated for the set. And let me tell you, when they finally got on stage, as I mentioned, they really just kind of took all the energy and made the most of it. They didn't let it down. They didn't flop. They really pulled through. And I know I say this sounding like I didn't believe they could, but I was so nervous because this is a band that I've been wanting to see and never really thought I would get the chance to see for a very long while now. And in knowing how much their music means to me, I was nervous for the songs they were going to play. I was nervous for just people not being respectful all the same. I'm not even sure why I was because they brought it. And there was no one in the crowd that looked like they weren't enjoying it either. Like, I know I was enjoying it a whole hell of a lot, and I was able to, like, make eye contact with the singer, of course, quite a few times, and kind of, like, he pointed at me, not gonna lie. Like, I'd hate to be that guy, but it happened, and it made me feel good inside, so I have to share it. And it was just a lovely way to rock the fuck out. And in saying all of that, their set list, oh man, I believe, now this is going off memory, so if I got any of the songs wrong, please don't mind me. I have the videos for it as well, and I'm going to post them to TikTok when I can, because they put on such a good performance. But it went A Different Shade of Misery, Built to Bleed, My Everything, which hell yes, Nothing, Bloodlust, and Leave You to Rot. They didn't play Lost, but mind you, that is one of their more emotional ones. A little bit more soft in terms to what this set list is. I know My Everything definitely shouldn't be considered to be one of the more heavier ones, but it does have that other side to the song where it is heavy. So I totally understand this set list, and I'm not upset one bit because holy fuck, these songs are some of their best ones. And I know I'm being biased, obviously, because I love all their music, but A Different Shade of Misery? That one. When that one dropped as a single, don't even get me started. I had that on repeat. I was rocking out to it so hard, yelling my little emo soul out. It was so good. And then Built to Bleed, not one of my favorites, but a newer song. And that really caught me off guard because that is their newest release. I did not see that coming. I didn't expect them to play it, but when they were playing it, I was like, holy shit, this is happening. And then to go into My Everything. Now that one, again, comes from Burning Throne, is one that means a lot to me. I had a moment where I just couldn't hold the tears back and had a little moment to myself just watching it be performed in front of me and feeling the lyrics and feeling not only that, what the lyrics hold themselves, but feeling the music behind it through a live setting. Again, nothing ever comes close. And that was, for some reason, the song people started to crowd surf on. Not sure why. Definitely not the right song to crowd surf to, but goes to show most people don't listen to the lyrics, more so just the sound behind it. And all the same, in saying that, an amazing performance that they were able to do, alongside with Nothing and Bloodlust, and Leave You to Rot to end it with. You're Nothing But a Snake. Oh my god. They, I'm sorry to say, to everyone that was ever doubting Acres, if there's anyone out there that is, you're wrong. They are amazing, and I cannot wait to see the heights that they reach with this new album, because seeing them live is totally worth it and totally different from just listening to their record on its own. Yes, the record itself for their albums, Burning Throne in particular, amazing. Their EP, What It's Like to Feel Worthless, amazing. All of it. To hear it translated into a live setting with that energy that they're able to bring, I couldn't ask for more. Anyways, to stop going on and on about Acres, or else this episode is going to be way too long, because I do have more to talk about, I have to go and say I was lucky enough and able to leave the pit where I was standing. Yes, I gave up my barricade spot to go to the merch booth for Acres a second time. I didn't buy anything this time, but what I was able to do, I was able to meet the singer alongside the bassist, as well as he was still there after a little bit anyways. But the singer, Ben, alongside the bassist, Jack, they were both there. I was able to finally meet both of them properly. And at first I was talking to the bassist a little bit more, kind of talking to them a little bit of what they've got planned, if they're excited about being in Canada and how the show went, because I thought it was amazing. And they said, I know that, granted, every band probably says this, but they were pretty adamant in saying, Canada's a different beast in terms of, live settings. People go ham, especially this certain venue, and they were telling me a little bit of how just amazing and intense that our crowd was able to bring their songs. So they were very happy with the actual performance of not only themselves, but the crowd that they were playing to. They were happy with the show, which was awesome to hear. And they were planning to go to Calgary next, which I guess the bassist has family there. Had no idea, because they're from the UK. He's never been to Calgary either. And then they were going to go through Banff, and I know the bassist in particular was hoping to see a bear. So fingers crossed to him that he was able to see a bear in the national park at Banff. But all the same, I was able to meet Ben, the singer. I got a photo with him. Super nice guy. And the only thing I regret not telling him, because I was too afraid to, one, come off as too much, and two, just completely slip my mind because of how just anxious and nervous I was for meeting this guy that literally wrote the lyrics to things that I cried to and helped me through really hard moments. So, granted, I forgot to say it a little bit, but I was able to at least meet him and say an amazing set. So glad that they're there. Convey the story of Crystal, the whole shebang there, and he was like, oh yeah, okay. And it went from there to say that the only thing I wish I could have told him was how much that album meant to me and how much a lot of his songs mean to me. And I'm sure he gets it all the time, even as a small band, with the way their songs sound and the lyricism that their songs hold. I'm sure they get it all the time. But Ben from Acres and Acres as a whole, if somehow you guys are listening to this, thank you for creating the music you create, and I hope you guys never stop. I hope you never lose that fire behind you and that burns deep within, because it makes a difference. And if it doesn't make a difference to everyone, I don't care, because it sure makes a hell of a difference to me. And I know that I'm not alone in saying that, and that there's plenty of other people that you make a difference to, too. So thank you. I'm so glad I was able to meet him and talk to him the little bit that I was able to and get an actual photo with the man. Oh my God. It was a hell of a time, hell of a show, and just such great people. I cannot wait till they come back to Edmonton, because they better fucking do that. I swear, if they don't, I'll be making a quick trip out to the UK to bring them back with me. Mark my words. Other than that, it did go on, the concert, went and continued on to Kingdom of Giants. Now, at this point, I was no longer in the mosh pit. Didn't have my spot anymore. I was actually out in the smoke pit with Paul, and we completely lost track of Crystal. So, lo and behold, no idea where she was. I just thought she went back into the pit to try to get to her spot again, so I went to go try to find her, and Kingdom of Giants started their set. Now, I knew nothing of them. I knew none of their songs, and I still don't, but I was actually ignorant in saying that I didn't remember who they were in terms of when I was talking about them in past episodes. I was doing them a disservice, because wow, do they put on a good set. I don't know any of the songs, mind you, but I was in the mosh pit, and I was able to feel that energy that not only they were feeling on stage, but everyone in the mosh pit were feeling together. It was an intense show, not only for Acres, but Kingdom of Giants onto Erra and into The Devil Wears Prada. People went absolutely wild and fucking ham. It was insane. In saying so, I moshed really hard, went into the circle pit, obviously, for Kingdom of Giants, and they did not disappoint, even if I didn't know any of their music or what they were singing. And then by the time that was over, I went back out to the smoke pit to find Paul, as he was not coming with me into the mosh pit. He's a little bit too old, his words, not mine, but he was willing to go into the mosh pit with me to try to find Crystal, as she actually texted us and said that she was waiting for us at the barricade for when Erra started. Now, by the time we got in, more people were filling the mosh pit, and there wasn't really much of an area to move around in at all. So my bright idea is, well, I got close enough to the front last time when I was in the mosh pit, let's do that again. And now that I know she's up there, I can hopefully find her. So Erra finally got on stage, and I know I've seen them before with Bad Omens in Indiana when I went to see Bad Omens, which amazing, such an amazing band. They put on a great show. But Erra's set for Bad Omens, that show at least in particular, was really good. And I have to say, with this show, they outdid themselves for what I remember. Maybe it's because they have more songs to choose from. Maybe it's because they're in a new area, or an area that I feel a little bit closer to home at. Maybe more comfortable. I'm not too sure. But they put on a hell of a performance. And when I say sometimes the mosh pit gets scary, they're very much like a deathcore kind of metalcore vibe in terms of sound, and especially the way that they scream. They're heavy. And to be in that mosh pit, I'm just a little guy compared to a lot of people in there. Holy hell is it ever fun though. Because to be pushed around and to push around other people like that in a nice consensual manner in terms of a rock show. So fun. And I was lucky enough to eventually scout out Crystal in the crowd, walked up to her, and I was able to watch the last of the remainder of Erra's set at least, which I think I had maybe 2-3 songs in the pit for that set, which, oh my god, they go hard. But I was finally able to find Crystal, experience the last of it, and by the time they were off stage, we were able to track Paul down and get him to come up, and we were all front and center, not right at the barricade, but just 2 people behind as we went to go meet the members of Acres. We were right behind them still, and got to be essentially front and center for The Devil Wears Prada. Now this whole night, mind you, everyone's been going ham, being pushed around, pushing other people around. Sometimes the crowd itself was like a sea. And for The Devil Wears Prada, all of that from before felt like nothing when they got on stage, because holy fuck, people amped it up to the very next level, which I don't even know how that's possible with the way that they were going and everyone, like how people weren't tired by the end of it. No clue, because they didn't stop. They kept on going, and The Devil Wears Prada, they brought the fucking energy, just as they had the first time when I seen them with Fit for a King for their Metalcore Dropouts tour, with Paul, mind you. This time, no different. They brought the energy all the same, and really just went ham with it. And they actually played their brand new single, For You, which currently people are adoring. Like, their fan base eating it up. It is currently their #1 song on Spotify, which is crazy. And they also played Ritual, which is one of my favorites that they ended up playing the last show too, because that was their last song last time. Newest song last time, rather. Absolutely insane. They put on a great set, and with everyone going ham and crowd surfing like crazy, it gave me the bug in saying that I needed to crowd surf at least once before the show was over. And I luckily was able to accomplish that, because at the end of the encore, the last song of the night that Devil Wears Prada played, I was lucky enough to just kind of tap a guy on the shoulder, point up, be like, yo, up, up, up. And sure enough, he grabbed my leg and threw me up, and I crowd surfed. Hell of a time. It's my 3rd time crowd surfing, which my first time was for Cancer Bats at Better Than Fred's, which I know, crowd surfing at a bar, what a legend. Number 2 was the crowd surf that I was able to do during Falling in Reverse's set in Edmonton at the Convention Center, and then April 22nd at the Midway to The Devil Wears Prada. Hell to the fucking yes. Hell of a show. So much fun. They didn't let me down. None of the bands did. Obviously, I was there for Acres. They only played a very short set, but the rest of the bands, they didn't let me down. And Devil Wears Prada even said, to say even more so onto what Acres said, and Erra too, that this was one of the best crowds of the entire tour. I know that they might say that to every show of the night, like wherever they're playing, but I do want to take it in pride and say, like, I was at that show and I could attest to saying that it went crazy, and I have to believe them to some extent to know that, like, yo, I don't think they were fully prepared to what Edmonton could bring to the table, because they said they remembered it last time, and they said that it stood up and held up to last time as well. So even if they say that to every show, depending on where they're at, I don't care. It made us feel good. Pat on the back to us as concert goers. And I hope that the rest of the tour is going well for them, for all the bands involved, and that Acres specifically gets some damn recognition, because they deserve it. After the crazy evening of moshing and crowd surfing and just rocking the fuck out, we were able to go to A&W, get some after-concert burgers, and get some fucking rest, because wow, did we all kind of hurt after the show. Blame it on us getting old. I am 26, and I am currently an quote-unquote old man as my cake confirmed to me when my birthday passed. But we were able to get some rest, and the very next day, we hit up West Edmonton Mall, walked around there for a little bit, as Crystal, again, isn't from the area. Chicago, it's a different place. Tried to make the most of it before heading back home, the long haul back to GP, which we were able to check out some stores here and there, found out the local hot sauce store in the mall is closing, which is unfortunate. It's a place that Paul and I hit up all the time because Paul loves his hot sauce and hot shit. I'm not a huge spice person myself, but call me a basic white bitch all you want because Paul does enough anyways, so feel free to join him in calling me one. But it was a great time afterwards. We didn't hurt that bad, to be completely honest. And by the time we made it back to GP, we had just enough time to make it to the reservation that I made earlier in the day to see the Edmonton Oilers at the Canadian Brewhouse. Mind you, we weren't like meeting the team, but we were watching the game there because it's Wing Wednesday. Hell yeah. During the playoffs, hell yeah. We gotta make it a thing, and it's always been, for as long as I've lived in GP, I want to say, and I've been following the Oilers as heavily as I have been, as in the past, I never really got the opportunity to, but since I have lived on my own, essentially, and had privilege to having TV, where I can watch the Oilers, I definitely have been, and every time they make the playoffs, Ryan is one of the main ones to do it with me. Logan, if he has the days off, and also Alex. And I know I've been there in the past with people like Tyler, Lauren, and Anthony. It's always just like a great time to gather whoever you can and bring them out to support your fucking team and have some chicken nuggets or hot wings if you want, whichever one you want. Boneless is the way though, chicken nuggies for life. But we were able to finally see the Oilers. Unfortunately, they lost again. I did end up with 2 losses, as I was mentioning at the very start of the episode. And now, today as I'm recording, as I kind of touched on this earlier, they play tonight. They won their game 2 nights ago on Friday, and tonight as I'm recording this, it's currently Sunday. I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here a little bit, but I have to say it because the Oilers are playing. And what I'm going to say right now might not even matter, but I want to say good luck to the Edmonton Oilers, to Oil Country as we know it, all the fans involved. Let's go Oilers, let's bring it back, finish this series, these 2 games in Edmonton, bring it back to LA, tied 2-2 for the series. Come on, fingers crossed, let's fucking do it. We can do it. Let's go, boys. Let's fucking go. Now, don't mind me, I had to get that out of my system. Obviously, by the time you're listening to this, you'll know whether or not we lost or won. Even if you don't follow hockey, feel free to look it up. If not, the next episode that I've got, we'll be able to touch on the playoffs a little bit more, as I'm just focusing on the Edmonton Oilers. The Leafs currently are doing pretty well. They lost their last game last night, but they're still leading the series 3-1. Odds are they could win it. Don't want to get too ahead of myself with that one because the Leafs have been known to blow leads like that, so take it with a grain of salt, but fingers crossed that things go well for the Canadian teams this year. Regardless of what Canadian team you like, just let's bring it back home to Canada and let's make it the Oilers, please. I know my bias, I can't help but throwing that in there, but come on Oilers, let's get it together. In saying so though, the wing night was a lot of fun, even though we did lose. It was great to be out with Ryan again, and it might be the only one we get to go see if the Oilers don't make it to round 2, as it doesn't happen to fall on another Wednesday, unfortunately. But we'll see. We have a long ways to go if the Oilers want to keep winning. If they want to keep losing, then hockey season will be over before we know it. But take it with a grain of salt. May the best team win. Now, being that is kind of all I had to talk about, I did want to touch on a few new releases, as I was at the mall this past Saturday working at Sunrise, and it came to my attention that we didn't get in much of anything for new releases. I know that not many new releases have come out yet, it's just kind of been singles and such here and there, but what made me think of it was the fact that we didn't have Mayday Parade Suite. Alongside, we didn't have Ghost's new album, which came out that Friday. So, before I get too ahead of myself, the new releases as stated go: Mayday Parade's Suite and TX2's Hostage. They Will Not Erase Us. I know they came out on like the 17th and 18th, but all the same, I've kept them spinning in my discography on my current repeat, if you will. A great EP and a great single, not gonna lie. Next up is new MGK. Hello? Like, I say it that way because I know it's just a cover. It's new MGK cover of Ryan Adams' Come Pick Me Up, which came out April 22nd. And I have to give it that kind of reaction because, wow, it was far better than it had any right to be, and it honestly smashed any expectation that I had prior. It is a country song. It's a different vibe from MGK, most certainly. I know he's done Lonely Road with, I believe, Jelly Roll, which I didn't care for. But this cover, wow, can he sing? He can sing! I didn't expect that. I know that he's sang in the past and obviously is a very successful musician. And I'm not an MGK hater. I'm not much of a fan either. I like his pop punk stuff. For the most part, that's kind of what I latched onto with him as an artist. But in knowing that this is his current sound and what he's doing right now makes me so intrigued, because some of the ways that he's sang on that song, I have never once heard him sing like before in my life on any song of his that I've heard. It makes me so curious, and I am very, very excited to see what other covers that he has planned, as I know he said he's going to be releasing a small batch of covers, kind of like he did back during lockdown with the lockdown sessions, or whichever they were called. And if this is what he's doing, I'm ready, I'm excited. MGK, show us what you got. Other than that, the next single to come out after, the day after, you're not ready. You're not ready. Dayseeker. Dayseeker's Pale Moonlight, which dropped April 23rd, and same day as we were making our way back from the tour from Edmonton. Absolutely insane what they were able to accomplish with that song. Now, the music video, so much production. Not to mention just the song, of course, but like the music video itself, absolutely wild. The song itself, absolutely wild. I am very, very impressed and curious of what they've got in store for this coming album, because this honestly is the best I've heard Rory sing and scream, and the fact that the screams are making a return in such a cinematic way, I think this might be the most Dayseeker, quote-unquote, album or set of songs that they've got for us that we've ever heard and heard them be. It's insane. I know that I'm definitely not trying to overhype it, but it is hype as fuck. It's absolute fire. Give it a listen. You won't be disappointed, especially if you are a fan of how Dayseeker sounded before Dark Sun, because in my opinion, it's Sleep Talk, Dark Sun, and Dreaming is Sinking, Waking is Rising, the best of those albums, all three of them, just kind of mushed together into what this new era is going to be. I am so excited. You don't even know. The next thing, April 24th, it marked the release of Sandbox from the upcoming All-American Rejects new album. Holy shit, they are back. They haven't actually had a release. This is their first original song, mind you. This is their first upcoming album since 2011. And that was their album, Kids in the Street. Now, wow, for first and foremost. And also, they said they weren't making an album. I know that I touched on in a couple episodes back that they did say they were going to make an album after saying they weren't planning to because they didn't think people would care to hear what they have to say, and they didn't really have anything left to say since it's been so long. But I guess they changed their mind because now they have a new single. They have it building up to a brand new album. The album hasn't been announced yet as to what it's going to be called or when it's coming out, but it is coming all the same. And it makes me curious, it makes me excited to think, in what way were they able to feel that this gave them reason to release a new album? I'm very curious. It seems like they have something to say, and whatever they've got to say, I am ready to hear it. Next up is April 25th. That was the Friday. We actually got quite a lot, and it was actually more than I thought we were going to get, because we got Dance with the Devil by Call Me Charisma and Gloomy Days, to go alongside with the other tracks they've already released, being American Idol and Marrow, which absolute bangers, the lot of them. Next up was Itty Bitty, the Horse Girl remix. My God, that was a trip in itself. I don't even know really how to explain that. I do want to share, for those that don't know who Horse Girl is or what Horse Girl is, I was in the same boat. I still have no idea who they are or what they go by or anything of the sorts. They are a literal horse girl. And I'm not trying to throw any shade. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just spreading light on something that caught me completely off guard and had no idea that Ash Nico would be partnering with an artist like this. Not to say they're bad by any means. I don't know their music. The remix wasn't my taste, I will say that much, but let me just read their Spotify bio, okay? Over the meadow mountains and down the rainbow road lays Sunshine Farms, home of Stella, aka Horse Girl. Although Stella is only a teenage foal, she sings songs about heartbreak and the rural life that go right under your skin. The ability to translate her sensitivity into her lyrics are what unites human and horse, the deep emotions of existence. And while she pursues her dream of galloping over the world's biggest stages, she never forgets her home at Sunshine Farms. And if you want to look up what she looks like, you'll understand why her bio is like that and why she's called Horse Girl. That's all I'm going to touch upon it. Just needed to share it to kind of spread awareness of this artist that I had no idea even existed. Absolutely wild, caught me off guard, and I'm sure if you guys look them up, if you don't know who they are already, you'll probably be caught off guard too, just the littlest bit. Next up, Damocles, or Damocles. I'm not even sure how to say it. I'm not going to pretend. I haven't heard the song yet, and I'm sure if I heard it, I'd know how to pronounce it, but it's from Sleep Token. Their new album, Even in Arcadia, out May 9th. Absolutely insane, the hype that they're getting for this album, the hype and crazy milestones that they've been achieving, and they're hitting with these certain singles that they've been releasing. They are going places, and this album is going to be bigger than anything they've ever released, and that's hands down already the case. Absolutely insane. I'm very excited and curious to hear what they sound like with these new songs, as I've been luckily enough avoiding all of it because I want to hear it as a full art piece, if you will, with Even in Arcadia when it does drop May 9th. I'm just patiently waiting, so I cannot wait to hear it in full when the album drops. Then Nights Like These live by Mariana's Trench, which was a nice surprise to see. Not super huge on live songs myself, but was cool all the same. But one that really got me very excited when I heard it was Unshatter by Linkin Park. It's the second song, the second single, if you will, from their upcoming deluxe album, From Zero Deluxe, dropping May 16th. And apparently it's the earliest recorded Emily track that the band was able to record, according to their socials, mind you. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not sure when they recorded it, but apparently it's the earliest Emily Armstrong song that we have with her being a part of Linkin Park. So it's cool that they were able to finally finish it, I guess, and release it for this deluxe album because it sounds so good. From Mike rapping the fast raps that he loves to do, especially in this song, to Emily herself, the performance, it's just all more Linkin Park gold, and I'm so ready for more. May 16th, I can't wait to hear the deluxe track. I know we only have like one extra song to listen to, but still, I'm excited because it's going to lead to more afterwards, so fuck yeah. The last few here I gotta touch upon is No Tomorrow by Fit for a King, to go alongside their other two singles that have already released over the past while, being Technium with The Plot in You, and Keeping Secrets, which I believe came out not too long after I seen them on the Metalcore Dropouts tour. Heaviness Incarnate. Honestly, it's wild how heavy they can get while still sounding so soft at the same time. It sounds like an absolute conundrum, but if you listen to it, I think you'll understand what I mean. Then Bad Decisions by Hinder for their upcoming album Back to Life. Yeah, Hinder. Back to Life, which drops May 23rd. Wild to hear from them with new stuff after so long with their new singer. I know that it's not for everyone since they have such a different sound, and when I say it is a different sound, it is, like even from their last album that they did back in like 2018. Crazy to see where they are at now. It's more akin to their old style, but with a new sound, if that makes any sense. Then Popsicle by Lilith Czar, her first single in what feels like ages, honestly. It's been since 2021. That was her last album, created from Filth and Dust. Loved the album. It's Andy's wife. I had to support, and I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't just blindly supporting either, because wow, that album is good. Anyone that hasn't heard it yet, give it a shot, please. Because female rock artists are very, very hard to come by, ones that are good, and she's definitely one of the ones that are good. And I was able to see her live for the Trinity of Terror tour, so fuck yeah. She's had features since that album came out, but nothing of her own like this. And her comeback really seems like she was getting a huge inspiration for more heavy music, specifically poppy-esque heavy music. And I have to say, she blew it out of the water with making it her own all the same, because the song really takes from her pop roots as well as her newly found heavy metal, heavy rock kind of roots, which so good. It was very poppy inspired while also staying very Phantom Tomorrow kind of sounding, as the producer was Eric Ron, same guy that produced the Black Veil album. And it's just very impressive. I'm super curious to know, and I'm also excited to know where she's going with this new sound, if it's going to lead to a brand new album, maybe a new EP, who knows. Whatever it is though, Popsicle, Lilith Czar, I'm here for it. Then to move on to an EP, this caught me off guard in all the right ways because I didn't know that this band existed. I've never heard of them before. The only reason I was notified of it was because Dark Divine is featured on all the songs. And this EP, for those that don't know, is Eye for an Eye by Not Enough Space and Dark Divine. Very heavy and wild. It was a nice surprise. Crazy, crazy surprise, not gonna lie, because as soon as I press play, I'm like, I bet you it's gonna just go, and sure enough, it did exactly that. It was just absolutely heavy bass, fucking drums, the nines. It was good. Very good for those that like heavy music, and it's also the heaviest that I've ever heard Dark Divine go. Now, for the albums that have come out, and I have to preface this by saying I have not gotten the chance to listen to them, as I still haven't even gotten the chance to listen to any albums that I've been meaning to, be it Igor by Tyler the Creator that Rosie has wanted me to listen to for a long time, the 2 albums that Matt has wanted me to check out from Tupac. I have not gotten to those either, alongside these new records and some other new releases that have come out here and there. I will get to them. I'm going to do some grinding here, but I do want to share them all the same, and if you guys have any thoughts of yourselves on these records, let me know what they are at Lights Monarch on everything, and I would love to start a conversation, and I will be listening to them soon too, so I can share my opinions there too, if you're at all curious. Anyways, the albums that have most recently dropped are only 2 for the ones that are new anyways, is Dan Avidan and Super Guitar Bros 3. Very excited to check that out. And, of course, you have to know by now, Ghost, their album Skeleta or Skeletta. Super excited for that too. It's finally out, and it has been since Friday. I'm going to be giving that a listen very, very soon as possible, really. And to shout out Rosie, as she loves the band, her favorite song was Excelsis. So, any of you that have heard it and know that song, tell me what it's about, because I can't wait to hear it. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I know it was a bit of a ramble about Acres for a long while, and some new releases. Hopefully it doesn't come out too long and too rambly. Let's go Oilers, and thank you so much for listening. But most importantly, thank you for discovering the music within.